Well, a Fox News alert, a New York appeals court just this morning has thrown out President Donald Trump's massive civil fraud penalty. The decision from a five-panel group in New York's appellate division changed the original decision that stood to cost Trump over $500 million. One appeals judge calling the lower court's penalty an excessive fine that violates the 8th Amendment of the United States Constitution. You might remember that New York Attorney General Letitia James' office says despite this decision, they will not be dropping the case.
Trump is absolutely losing his mind right now, as congressional testimony from special counsel Jack Smith just leaked, and what's in it is devastating. Proof. Actual documented proof of Trump's criminal liability for classified document obstruction and election interference. This testimony was supposed to stay behind closed doors. It was supposed to remain sealed, but recently someone leaked the entire transcript, and Smith testified under oath that there is proof beyond reasonable doubt of Trump's crimes, specifically that Trump willfully retained nuclear secrets at Mar-a-Lago and that Trump coordinated January 6th activities. These aren't allegations anymore. This isn't circumstantial evidence. This is a special counsel, a career prosecutor with decades of experience, saying under oath to Congress that the evidence is overwhelming. The testimony describes what Smith calls powerful evidence Trump obstructed FBI search. Like Trump knew the FBI was coming. He knew what documents he had, and he actively tried to hide them. The testimony mentions TSSCI documents. That's top secret sensitive compartmented information, the most classified stuff that exists. Being stored in a ballroom and a bathroom. Trump kept nuclear secrets in a bathroom. Let that sink in. But real quick, before we get into this, let's be honest. You can't really trust mainstream media anymore. That's why we built Patrick Smith Show, to bring you real stories, real context, and no corporate spin. If you want to stay ahead of the headlines, please subscribe, because you might think you are but aren't. Your subscription actually matters here. Alright, let's get into what actually happened and why this leaked testimony is a legal nuclear bomb. Jack Smith gave closed-door testimony to the House Judiciary Committee recently, and that testimony was supposed to stay sealed. It was sensitive. It contained details about ongoing investigations. It had classified information in it, but someone leaked the whole thing, the entire transcript, and it's absolutely devastating. Smith testified that Trump willfully retained nuclear secrets at Mar-a-Lago, that Trump coordinated January 6th activities, that there is powerful evidence Trump obstructed the FBI search. These aren't vague accusations. These are specific documented findings from a prosecutor who spent years building cases against Trump. Share this video with everyone you know because the testimony describes exactly what evidence exists. Smith walks through it step by step. He starts with the classified documents case, and he doesn't mince words. He says there is powerful evidence Trump obstructed FBI search, hoarded TSSCI docs in ballroom and bathroom. Let's break that down. TSSCI means top secret sensitive compartmented information. This is the most classified material the US government has. Nuclear weapons designs, intelligence sources, military capabilities, stuff that could get people killed if it falls into the wrong hands. And according to Smith's testimony, Trump was keeping this stuff in a ballroom at Mar-a-Lago and in a bathroom where anyone could potentially access it. But it gets worse. Smith testified that Trump knew he wasn't supposed to have these documents. Trump was told repeatedly to return them. The National Archives asked for them back. The FBI subpoenaed them, and Trump refused. Not only did he refuse, he allegedly moved the documents around to hide them from investigators. He had staff members pack them up and relocate them. He had his lawyers make false statements about what documents existed. That's obstruction of justice. That's not just keeping documents you shouldn't have. That's actively trying to prevent law enforcement from recovering them. And Smith has evidence. Phone records, text messages, witness testimony, security camera footage. It's all documented. Make sure you're subscribed to Patrick Smith Show because then there's January 6th. Smith testified about Trump's role in trying to overturn the 2020 election, and according to the transcript, Smith has proof of coordination. He has evidence that Trump knew the election wasn't stolen, that Trump's own advisors told him he lost, that the lawsuits were failing, that the fraud claims were false, and Trump pushed forward anyway. Smith testified about the fake elector scheme, about Trump pressuring state officials to find votes, about Trump's pressure campaign on Vice President Pence, about the rally on January 6th where Trump told supporters to march to the Capitol, and about Trump's inaction, his refusal to call off the mob even as the Capitol was being attacked. All of this, according to Smith's testimony, amounts to criminal liability. He used the phrase proof beyond reasonable doubt. That's the standard for criminal conviction. That's Smith saying, if this went to trial, I'm confident we'd win. The evidence is that strong. And here's what makes this absolutely devastating for Trump. This leaked testimony directly contradicts his entire narrative. For years, Trump has been calling all of this a hoax. The Russia investigation hoax, the documents case hoax, January 6th hoax. Everything is a hoax according to Trump. Except now, you have a special counsel under oath with documented evidence saying, nope, these are real crimes with real proof. Share this with everyone because Trump's response was a complete meltdown. From his detention cell, he smuggled out orders. Yeah, he's still doing this. Ordering MAGA supporters to protest. But not just any protests. He specifically targeted what he called rhino traitors. And who are these traitors? Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Senator John Cornyn, two of the most senior Republicans in the Senate. Trump is calling for protests against his own party's leadership because they voted for the censure. And his supporters listened. They showed up at Capitol Hill, and it turned violent. Like really violent. MAGA mobs hurled bottles at police who were guarding Senate offices, officers in riot gear, people screaming about the deep state, complete chaos, and the arrest count. 500 people, 500 arrests in one day. That's not a protest. That's an insurrection attempt again. Meanwhile, Trump's social media proxy accounts, because remember, he can't access them directly from detention, they're going absolutely crazy. One post said, Jack Smith belongs in jail, censure is deep state revenge. That post got 200,000 retweets before the account got suspended. 200,000 people saw that and shared it before the platform finally shut it down. And President Vance once again is distancing himself. He put out a statement saying Smith's findings validate constitutional correction. No more chaos. Translation: Smith is right. Trump is guilty. The censure was justified. And I'm the guy cleaning up the mess. Vance is basically throwing Trump under the bus at every opportunity now. And honestly, it's working for him. His approval rating is reportedly at 90%. 90% because people are desperate for a president who isn't constantly creating constitutional crises. Make sure you stay subscribed because the timing of this leak is brutal. This dropped the same day as the RICO trial cancellation, the same day as the $500 million sanctions, the same day as ongoing fallout from the congressional censure. Trump is getting hit from every direction: legal, political, financial, and he can't handle it. So he lashes out. He orders protests. He calls people traitors. He tries to burn everything down, because if he's going down, he wants to take everyone with him. Now let me walk you through why this leaked testimony is so significant. Smith testified to the House Judiciary Committee in a closed-door session. Members of Congress only. No press, no public. Just Smith answering questions under oath about his investigations into Trump. And what he said was damning. The transcript shows Smith walking through the evidence step by step. He details exactly what Trump did wrong. He explains why the evidence is so strong. He uses terms like proof beyond reasonable doubt and powerful evidence. These are not casual descriptions. These are a prosecutor saying, I had him dead to rights. And the classified documents section of the testimony is particularly explosive. Smith testified that Trump was keeping TSSCI documents in a ballroom and a bathroom, not in a secure facility, not in a SCIF, not under proper protection. In a ballroom where events were held, in a bathroom where guests could access. This is the kind of security violation that would get anyone else immediately arrested. And Smith has the evidence. He has the FBI photographs showing boxes of documents. He has the security footage showing Trump's staff moving boxes. He has witness testimony from people who saw the documents. He has text messages discussing the documents. It's all there. Share this video with everyone you know because the obstruction of justice component is even more damning. Smith testified that Trump knew the FBI was coming for the documents. Trump was told to return them. Trump was subpoenaed, and Trump's response was to hide them, to move them around, to have his lawyers lie about what existed. That's textbook obstruction, and Smith has the receipts. He has the timeline. He has the communications. He has witnesses who will testify that Trump personally directed the concealment. The January 6th testimony adds another layer of criminal liability. Smith testified that Trump knew he lost the election, that Trump's own advisors told him repeatedly that the fraud claims were false, that the lawsuits were failing, that there was no path to victory, and Trump ignored all of it. He pushed forward with the fake elector scheme. He pressured state officials. He pressured Pence. He held the rally. He told the crowd to march to the Capitol. And then when the violence started, he did nothing. He watched it on TV for hours and refused to call it off. Smith testified that this amounts to coordination of January 6th activities, that Trump's actions before, during, and after January 6th constitute criminal conduct. Now, why did this leak? That's the million-dollar question. Congressional testimony like this is supposed to stay sealed, but someone on the House Judiciary Committee or someone with access to the transcript decided the public needed to know. Maybe they thought Trump was getting away with too much. Maybe they wanted to counter his hoax narrative. Maybe they thought transparency was more important than confidentiality. Whatever the reason, the leak happened at the same time as Trump's RICO sanctions and ongoing congressional censure fallout. It's almost like someone timed it for maximum impact, to pile on when Trump was already down, to make sure the public understood just how serious the evidence against him really is. And Trump saw that testimony leak and he erupted, because this undermines everything he's been saying for years. Trump has insisted he did nothing wrong, that he had every right to keep those documents, that January 6th was a peaceful protest, that everyone is out to get him. And now you have a special counsel with all the evidence saying, nope, these are crimes and here's the proof. So Trump did what he always does when cornered. He attacked, he smuggled orders out of his detention cell, ordering MAGA supporters to target specific Republicans. Senator John Thune, Senator John Cornyn. These are senior GOP leaders who voted for the censure, and Trump wanted them to pay. Share this with everyone because the call to action worked. MAGA supporters showed up at the Capitol. They were angry, they were loud, and they were violent. The protests started relatively peacefully. People with signs, chanting, the usual stuff. But then it escalated. People started pushing against police barriers. Officers in riot gear formed lines, and then bottles started flying. Protesters hurling glass bottles at cops, trying to break through security perimeters, trying to force their way into Senate office buildings. The police response was swift. They made arrests, a lot of arrests. The final count was 500 people arrested in connection with the Capitol Hill violence. 500. That's massive. That's more than January 6th itself in terms of immediate arrests, and each one of those people is now facing federal charges. Assaulting officers, trespassing, rioting. These are serious crimes with serious penalties. And Trump's social media presence, even from detention, was making things worse. His proxy accounts were posting inflammatory content, calling Jack Smith a criminal, calling the censure revenge by the deep state, encouraging supporters to fight back. One post specifically said Jack Smith belongs in jail. Censure is deep state revenge. That post went viral. 200,000 retweets, millions of impressions, and then the account got suspended. But the damage was done. The message was out there. The base was activated. J.D. Vance watched all of this unfold and immediately disavowed it. He put out a statement praising Jack Smith's testimony. He said Smith's findings validate constitutional correction. No more chaos. That's Vance saying Smith is right. Trump is guilty. The censure was appropriate. And I'm drawing a line. No more of this. We're moving forward as a country based on facts and law, not conspiracy theories and violence. And the public is responding positively to Vance. His approval rating has surged to around 90%. Think about that. In today's polarized political environment, getting 90% approval is almost impossible. But Vance is doing it by being the anti-Trump, by respecting institutions, by supporting the rule of law, by calling out violence and extremism. People are desperate for normalcy, and Vance is giving it to them. The connection to all the other Trump scandals makes Smith's testimony even more damaging. the shredding video that showed Trump destroying documents, the questionable Venezuelan ledgers, the courtroom recording showing Trump trying to intimidate witnesses, the DOJ attorney exodus because career prosecutors couldn't defend illegal actions, the congressional censure, and now Smith's testimony confirming criminal liability. It all fits together. It's a pattern of lawlessness. And that pattern is what finally broke the Republican Party's loyalty to Trump. Share this video with everyone you know, because for years Republicans could claim there wasn't enough evidence. They could say it was all political persecution. They could give Trump the benefit of the doubt. But now you have a special counsel under oath saying the evidence is overwhelming. Now you have documented violations, now you have massive sanctions, now you have 500 arrests at the Capitol because Trump called for violence against his own party's leaders. At some point, even the most loyal Republicans have to say enough. This isn't politics, this isn't conservative governance. This is someone who broke the law repeatedly, got caught, and is now trying to burn down the country because he can't accept consequences. And that's why Republicans voted for the censure. That's why Thune and Cornyn are standing firm despite Trump's attacks. That's why Vance is distancing himself. The party is finally breaking free from Trump's grip. Now let me break down what this all means going forward. Jack Smith's testimony destroys Trump's defense strategy. Trump's entire legal and political approach has been based on claiming everything is a hoax. The investigations are hoaxes. The charges are hoaxes. The evidence is planted. The witnesses are liars. Everything is a deep state conspiracy to take him down. But you can't call it a hoax when a special counsel testifies under oath that there's proof beyond reasonable doubt. You can't claim the evidence is fake when Smith details exactly what evidence exists and where it came from. You can't say it's all political when Smith, a career prosecutor with no political background, stakes his reputation on the strength of the case. So Trump's left with nothing. His narrative is demolished. And he knows it. That's why he's lashing out so violently. That's why he's calling for protests against Republican senators. Because he has no legal defense left. He has no political cover. He's cornered, and cornered animals get dangerous. Make sure you're subscribed to Patrick Smith's show because those 500 arrests at the Capitol are significant for multiple reasons. First, they show that MAGA violence is still a real problem. These aren't isolated incidents. This is a coordinated movement of people willing to use violence to achieve political goals. That's terrorism by definition. Second, the arrests show that law enforcement has learned from January 6th. They're not going to let mobs overrun the Capitol again. They're prepared. They have resources deployed. They make arrests. Third, each arrest is a potential prosecution. Each person arrested is going to face charges, and each conviction reinforces that political violence has consequences. President Vance's 90% approval rating is remarkable. To understand how unusual that is, most presidents hover around 50%. If you're popular, maybe you hit 60%. For Vance to be at 90%, that's extraordinary. And it tells you what Americans want. They want stability. They want a president who respects institutions. They want someone who calls out violence instead of encouraging it. They want normalcy. And Vance is delivering that by simply not being Trump, by supporting law enforcement, by backing up judges and special counsels, by saying, yeah, the evidence shows Trump committed crimes and that's not okay. For the Republican Party, this is a defining moment. The party is splitting. On one side, you have Trump loyalists who will support him no matter what, who think Jack Smith is the criminal, who believe the deep state is real, who are willing to riot at the Capitol. On the other side, you have Republicans like Thune and Cornyn, who are saying enough, we can't defend this anymore, we have to move on. And the second group is winning, because they have public opinion on their side, because the evidence is too strong to ignore, because the violence is too extreme to excuse, because at some point you have to choose between party loyalty and basic decency. And more Republicans are choosing decency. Share this with everyone because the upcoming midterms are going to be a referendum on all of this. Democrats are going to campaign on being the party of law and order. They're going to point to the censure, to Jack Smith's testimony, to the sanctions, to the violence. And they're going to ask voters, do you want more of this or do you want stability? And if current polling holds Democrats are going to win big, some analysts are predicting they could gain significant House seats. That would give them a massive majority. They could potentially get increased Senate seats too, which would allow them to pass legislation more easily. For Trump personally, Smith's testimony is another nail in the coffin. He's already facing massive sanctions. His business empire is being liquidated. And now there's congressional testimony confirming his criminal liability. Even if he never faces another trial, his guilt is established in the public record. History will remember him as a criminal president. The leaked testimony also validates all the Republicans who voted for the censure. They took a risk. They face backlash from the base. They're being threatened with primary challenges. But now they can point to Jack Smith, a respected special counsel with no political axe to grind, saying under oath that Trump committed crimes. They can say, "See, we were right. The evidence is overwhelming. We did the right thing." Trump bet that he could break every rule and never face consequences. He bet that he could obstruct justice and get away with it. He bet that his political power would shield him from the law. He was wrong. The system eventually worked, and now he's paying the price. This story continues. Stay tuned.